Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss Mattel's Quest for Indominus Rex pack. The toy box basically came out summer of 2018, coinciding with the second Jurassic World film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The box includes the Indominus Rex skeleton, a submarine, a merc, and a Mosasaurus. So I go to my local Walmart, as I do every day before work and then after work, to find a $19.97 Albertosaurus, but they did not have it. There's an out of stock sticker, on the shelf. And I turn a corner and I hit the clearance section and I see Mosasaurus boxes, but it's not just the regular Mosasaurus box, it's the Indominus Rex Quest pack. And I'm like, how in the hell did a crate of these just happen to pop up out of nowhere? And I'm like, what? And then they're marked down to $19 a box. And I was like, what? Wasn't retail like $60, $70 originally? Then there was like a ridiculous Black Friday sale, something like that. And I was like, yo, this is nuts. This is nuts. So I found a box that was 90%. 10% had some damage to it, so that was a 90% one, and then another one had a complete rip on the side. And I was like, oh, well, this one obviously is the one I'm going to open up and, play around with. The other one, obviously, I'm going to keep. So we're going to talk about all the different things. So let's talk about Mosasaur herself. Oh, God. This is a massive figure. It has that real feel skin, right, that they kept implementing with all the Jurassic figures. She's hollow. You hear that? So there's air on the inside. So she can fill up and sink. Now, the interesting part about this pack is that it's made to be played with, and it's made to be played with underwater. And why I say that is because of the submarine, which we'll get into. All of her lovely fins, her jaw goes up and down, doesn't actually swallow anything. And when I showed my brother, he was like, oh, she doesn't eat anyone, reminiscing to the 97 Bull Rex from Kenner, who is actually up in my shelf, but that's what my brother was assuming. But this is an amazing figure, so much detail, a lot of weight to her too, and a nice curvy spine and tail. Beautiful sculpt, beautiful paint, beautiful figure. All right, Mosasaurus, put you there. We have our lovely Indominus Rex skeleton, right? So on the box, it's more like she's like this and like dead, right? Because she's a skeleton. But it's made so that way you can actually pose her. But a lot of people have actually had some problems with the joints themselves breaking off. I fortunately did not have that issue. I don't want to say yet. I need some wood to knock on. There we go. So I don't jinx myself. I did have to take a hairdryer, though, to her arm joints just to, actually loosen them. But I'm so impressed with the sculpt, specifically on the head, the skull, because of the amount of detail within her. Like the brow, the little horns on her head. Very impressive. And I know she's to scale with Hasbro's Indominus Rex figure, which again, it's Hasbro, and we all have our issues with Hasbro, but the Indominus Rex from Hasbro was probably the only all-right figure. The large Indominus Rex, the electronic Indominus Rex from 4 years ago, the 2015 one. But this is to scale to that one. But then recently Mattel, someone was at a toy preview and snapped a photo of the prototype of Mattel's Indominus. And everyone's been freaking out about that. So obviously it's going to be this size, right? She's going to have gorgeous paint, a beautiful mouth. If this sculpt of the skull is anything indicating on the gorgeosity, that's not a word. Beautiful. I'm making words up. Can't think of it, but it's going to be a hot figure. I already know. And another difference I noticed is that the elbows of the Indominus is actually going to have articulation. These do not have articulation. But again, this is really just a prop within the playset. It's supposed to be that dead, Rexy kind of feel. Still an awesome, beautiful, it's like a baby. Beautiful toy. Keep you there. Now, the thing I'm most impressed with is the submarine. Now, this is very accurate to how the movie is. You have the buzzsaw on this side. You have the clampers on this side. You have this little light for the Merc inside. You open the hatch. There is a Merc inside. You can fit other figures in there. You can play around with them. But again, like I was saying, this set is made to be played with. These little air pockets on the back, right? This can float when these are attached. And then when you take them off, you let the water in. And then you take this little thingy and let the water through that. And then it sinks. So this is a very interactive playset, and I'm very impressed because I did not expect it to be this interactive and this much detail, especially with the engineering behind it. It must be a pain to dry out, especially since there are batteries in this to make the light go, but it probably looks pretty neat underwater with that light going, and then just having it sink. And then when you bring it back to the light, when you bring it back to the surface, then it'll, you know, float. I like that little pulsating. It's pretty neat. So that's these figures, right? This is the box. Oh god. Oh, it's heavy. Again, this is a partially damaged box anyway. It's just little things on the corners, right? That's really it. This is amazing graphic. Very heavy. It's a heavy set, but these are heavy figures. Awesome graphics going in the front. I like that you can have this little see-through area for the Merc and the sub. I also like that it's enclosed. I'm not a big fan of open packaged figures. Like, majority of the Legacy Collection, majority of the Borovors and the Battle Damage and the Dino Rivals, they're all open boxed. So they're just like attached to the packaging. Other figures are, you know, encased with the plastic to preserve it. So I kind of like that more when they're on the card rather than the open, because depending on how you display it, if you're displaying it on a shelf, it's more susceptible to dust, obviously. But if it's behind a glass case, it's not susceptible to dust. It's just this I find very convenient. It's already in a full box. It is completely enclosed, right? There's no air getting in that. I don't know. I like this kind of packaging better than the open boxings. So that's that. What are your inputs on my awesome $19 find, for that matter, when I'm just trying to find an Albertosaurus like the rest of us? But what is your input on this particular set? I'm very impressed with how this pack came together with the 4 different aspects. The Merc, the Sub, the Irex, and the Mosasaurus. So awesome. So awesome. And to that, stay hunting, guys. You'll find your toys eventually. Mucho mahalo.